point kabisa.
So, lero nate tukukuonera omugusi abere ndakuona for some time, so nakingo kuonera kegusi lero nga inataka gukuonera omugusi of a few things, but of course timbuati nguruchio ko kolengererio on your behalf. I simply want to give my opinion over things chiagusi as far as county chitu chile concerned. I talk about what I imagine about the future of Omogusi. Whatever the imaginations I would have or I have about the future of Omogusi. And I'll tell you the realities. Buna chile. Ginkonyora. Mokonyora, my opinion makes sense. Sawa. Mokonyora, it doesn't make sense. Still is okay. And I'll start with the history. When we were going to the run-up of the last election in 2022, etu wabati kambibere, wabate kambia Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga, no Mheshimiwa William Ruto. That time, I was still in parliament. Most of the leaders were in parliament that time. Bakaamua kugenda su Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga babateba nero guchikoira kerukiwa president. I was among the few. If my memory serves me right, I think in Gusina igetenga kingatika ranchebuika. For some time yakabanga ninchibuika na atigaire. Kero monto kanyo chire. Kero monto. Batika ranchebuika nkasugu makabisa William Ruto. Kero monto na aragweta gusiaria abantu bandama banchoria. Bante yamangana kweli mbatebi mayetenja na arigereire. Esabu na akire esabu. Na naro renga omo sigisi nkoirare chikura. Mo gusita jetia igwe. William Ruto kanyora 33%, was it 34%? Raila Odinga kanyora about 60%. Echinde chikaba shared na a few others. And in fact, we even had a challenge konyora chi candidate. Na rode abantu ngo monto yonko irare. Ekabenga kien kongo mwaka machogu. Kwenye naero tamire nkamuligia. Motebia chase kambi. Kera kwenye tuwabuli none governor candidate. Nkaligia kwenye Mheshimiwa Maangi Ochire. Nkamuligia nere. Nkamwesie kire nyomba asegete. Tukamanere for almost 6 hours. Nera ganchirana. Egerati no senator, at least to balance. Egere torro kanengan to gade chinamba. Some constituencies to kaburuba ke candidate yogotena because kero montare wata bangoma etenchira teyora arusi ora abwe Raila Odinga na chikura this time. So I told Omogusi that time, taiweti. And today I want to tell you some things. Moji wanchira na baadaye na mwisi kubugatia historia negocha. Even after election, sebi ntona batebire binge mbono mukunya koranga ke. Osoro na kuwa netinkia gukirira bono. Osoro na kuwa netinkia gukirira. Immediately after elections, into serikali, but it has not been bakekera into ikaranste serikali tirira isigo asituri. Keretu asoete 2022 burumbu arenge iguru. Inyora baritu warikuru nabuwa bande ena bana ba mintum na bano Fred barenge serikali. Bantu nkubwatu barenge. Bano burumbu arenge iguru bakase serikali. Aba bako gambamba bwatu burunaitu sana. Abande mbabwatu burunaitu abanta abange bayikoyo. Ikabana wane kero kurigiri bagario konyora. Onde bwensi ase serikali. Oruwane Omogusi asoe. Ekobe gasi enkongu. Because chikura tu anyora te chiarenge tu ayana ne te chiarenge about 33%. 95% of professionals mbarange na into. In fact, Njosoro na ariko ndachiyo bisi abantu bantama. Chisi yo chiarenge ga senior ga na ariko ga ndachiyo bisi chisi ye chiarego ntama. Munta kontra yote yango maiten kontra kana no Osoro na Ruto. Ngo butunde gasi. So it became very difficult. Well, ito ile serikali na one chisi ye chiyo si professional chiyo to goja gutangaza go se go apply chigasi. Chiyo si chiya wabwete. Ante bakuwa. Munta go chi apply tama iti onde msense emeye. Bantama ete mbali bazimio. Oh no. Budget will apply most of them. Tokanyorega asi enkongo okorigio muntu. I remember even some of the parastatal story. Chia serikali yachitubuga tabana. Most of them inche personally. Na rekorigia bantu. Rekorigia bantu nga aya baba. Utawa apply asegete. Ota wa place ndabuli ninyole. It became very difficult Omogusi koba part of government buya because no anyino bosoku bwo gotoka serikali mbu arengo umuntu asogete ikiagara mahete ngakaki ngakingo jikoba bahati mzuri wasemba ya Raila olimu ari support ya gachasa serikali. Naturally nerna it was his sunset days nerna nigata rekorosia community yaya ribona ako negotiate nera ka insist nera ko negotiate ya abantu bamwabo mono. And at that time Micha na arenge bado the senior most close to the president between 2020 gocha na erebono iga, nothing has changed. But because the committee ito ja bet a bit of a challenge then even as we were negotiating so koba riribono mga kacha Raila anda koba nere mu amine timono ikabanga nero gutigirwa bange Nyanza no nyene bintu bya serikali Nyanza emine tibako mugusinari. So unfortunately iriyako banga of course nere kimwanya bantu so bare kolengere. That is how people think and that is normal. So time has gone to a beire serikali to a support ngoga serikali ngo support to serikali and that is how life is. But over the years it's a challenge gocha after challenge after challenge. To ikire liribono stability ya lidikande korokana ngabono na boto konyora to negotiate mono na nebintu bya magandero seito. There is nothing wrong on the ones ko ambitious umwana minto Fred agacha. Acha Kenya agateba ngo buli president of course mugusi mugaichora kweli mukaoroke kabisa nga mutagete such a discussion. But no ono njenta idatugeli the future yomugusi. Tobora ni the future yomugusi ko tuikranse te orusi emotions kando, orusi oboloro kando, orusi obwanchani kando, orusi obokenyomba kando. Oyeboli about our community in the future because miaka na aberere serikali na arorira mangana mange sana. Arorira mangana mange sana. Amange ako ayanda kongechia. Ana kongoke. Ayanda kongechia about our community. Ayanda kongechia because ekero tutabuga stability. Erebuya. Ntubuga stability in terms of korengera yamo arafu ntubuga numbers. Ondite toko ngentere you might. Ondite toko ngentere. Ntuna abantu toko rasma tobereri. Nze mende yonse tole. Obe opposition, obe serikali, ntuna abantu bokwebereri. No ngentere yo monto, in fact when I was checking the statistics, chikura tu agete collectively Kisi na Nyamira. Cumulatively, njigeti milioni. Chionzi pi Kisi na Nyamira. Yani chionzi pi chiriraira anyorete, ne chiruta anyorete. Cumulatively, you do your statistics. Njigeti 1 million. Yani ntuna abantu nabo tulebono igakurukisi na Nyamira. Abana bayito abande tima nkimutari kubwatari bande. Abande kana mubwate bande muri ku ikadi. So we are at crossroads and I am fearing for the future of the community. Onya ntogote banikene. And I will speak about 3 things because that is, as I say, about my mind. You know, you have an opinion as an individual. I have an opinion as an individual. You cannot think on my behalf. I can't think on your behalf, but I'll speak my mind. If you choose to agree, fine. If you don't choose to agree, fine. That is the beauty of democracy. But I'll tell you the reality because it's not as a siasa. I'll start by telling you this. Just like I told you last time, and I'll finish at that. I'll tell you the reality. Just like I told you people in 2022, a direction ne na rolide. Ngabat na abate ndebinge sana gusiye you na abate ndebinge sana. And today I want to respectively and with tremendous humility kibora maskani ya manene ko address mnanateba the future of Omogusi and the leadership of Dr.Fred Mating'i. because nobody wants to say, I'll say. Ekero daktari achete Kenya, hope njare ngo sana nga, na bako ba, and I can tell even within our cycles, nditore serikali, iliyetari arengeri nina sana. Kera aliwocha last year. Dinta iko mention Marieta, lakini nkobora ni tu arenge ngakakie. Muntu utachete. Taliwocha tari ngaki. Muntu tali umutidi iliyeta ligasara. In fact, that time, muntu kwenye kwa statistics, na waka watenga, rating ya enja arenge iguru sana. Kenya. But over the years, over the very few days, and that is the nature of politics, kero wocha kore iguru. Airigire mwana siasa ndo kwenye urange nae. Ocha liberera lire iguru. Spirit ya ye kogenda nse bwango. Muna wacha. Siasa ngiene yogo cha kansa kogenda ngoro. Na jogo dara baga muna babaraira. Bacha agetense bakobwatu bachandika by the time ba kopa bona bakaka kabisa bakongo. Miaka yarasukire. Liriogo cha kano eko ono mulero gete you know kawaida tu igogwoka na lina nini na endo cho oera because okopo monene sana. So in the future of Mogusia Kero Freddy Achete, I'll tell you statistically, we see ya renge 98% in his support. Lakini wake karere 98% in his support. To isoko gaenda with the statistics chiagusi chikura renge konyora that time. To isoko gaenda muna chichikura chiage tu 700,000 total both Kisii na Nyamira. Kero waka 98% iko roughly alwele konyora about 659,000. 600 and something thousand, less 2%. So if you less than 2% of 700, I think something like that, I count about 600,000. In my tabulation is not right, but that is the statistics. But it was very high at that point. And I'll tell him, like I was telling my brothers, makorera magoso lidia chireiga kiagarancha somande bitabu ya wanasiasa sana. There is no day Raila arekuru isiko nga the first stop arekogenda Kisumu wasogenda Bondo. Akoru asarure nga baba when you are away ochaga Nairobi osalie parengima ogendo enda Kibera aiga Nairobi. Na yabanga nabagera barekumvuga ati perception ya gosoka isiko neti TV neringa umuntu utatanjire Nairobi kuliko bona ekogenda kirasi. Na ino wana mwakora magoso mukarachaga kura mu advice. That is why I'm addressing him today. Mukamuira karuga genda bakagusi mukara mukore community leader. Kero montaka be community leader traba national leader, it is very dangerous. Ayebwati bu ya chaka genda oyore bono kugamba. Ituko ndiyo kwa rekorra liya ko chaka chikambeni chiae akumunyoka liyo kanganje Rift Valley. No. He was doing a cross oko yunga na achira asegete ngichi aka constitute mono kwanza boikoyo baka bantu bamuha ya muntu na kibona arengerete. Even us, some of us in our small way, like now me, I did not even campaign in my clan. Kena chagete ko bolisiku achagere ko agenda isiko bantu bakatendo cy'umuntu nasikire ona bantu bakachaga appreciate. So abuntu akolete magosa kebuno mugusi, and I'm putting myself in, although I was not part of him. Komokora Kwanza community leader, it was a trap which he fell into. Because once you become a community leader, bagocha okoboli chinamba chia onchirichi. Nkiobugata. Iliyoga enda negotiate. Kwanya oranga tungata numbers. Bagocha question. And when some of us were raising such issues, you insulted us. Because it will be on the time obugata bobe mwana minto ko kamba. Anya nyasaya direction ngena ngeni ya orokiringa naye go chiaria. But let's talk reality. That time it was 98%. The thing we do, we only host him every time on local stations. Everywhere you cannot such local stations. Now that you've reduced him to a community leader, because you've succeeded, and I agree, so I'll address him as a community leader. So that we talk, I'm also part of the community. As the community leader, Oito. Community leader. By the way, I have no interest whatsoever in community leader. Was a village elder who is elevated as a community. I only say, Kerkua very reduced one, koenance kwa vile community leader bona tuku address mune community leader we discuss together here tubora ni maswali our leader where I am involved too ngaitoguchi as a community leader mwana mto Fred na amanyete because he's listening and I know he knows between me and him his chances sio kwa one national leader are going on diminishing by the day no wanyana wabunge bali yago tarana they say that they may not speak it out like baikire waso. That is why even some of them bakurigia sabago so tikatoa linda mwananchi. I mean, people are looking for ways to hang. Why and that sisi ndio sifuna. Ekera bono kwatiga ile intergate kwa bere bono you are now a community leader. And it's important for us to address you that way with as our leader. You are our leader. Tuborani. What is the future Mogusi? Are you misleading the community or say not misleading or leading it the right direction? So we need to talk about these things. When you came, it was at 98%. Statistics, yeah, correct to Moisonde, you are still a community leader. You are now standing Gusi at 55% in terms of rating. The other areas, Sonia Gusi, or 55%, it's again rate kogenance. Worse. In fact, I'll tell you, as a presidential candidate, nto abwate by election mavuko, to be get candidate. Tukatuare by election, I think Isiolo, to be get candidate. So that you become a national leader. We now have a by-election. Yago. Ikegero mobungo kuwa, olkalau, no yo jubiri. Yago. It is for you to win or to lose. Ne yago. Kwa be candidate, lakini kwa nyaka rokana. Chi community leader, chichini na pantabande, they are all over campaigning olkalau. Kwa nyaka rokana. So, where are we going as a community? Ekiame kiore Jubilee. Now, whatever you accepted kwa deputy, you did not start your own house. Ochake nyumba yago tire ngorang, ogende gradually, abantu bakuamini, gocha. Okaenda kwa nyumba, omanyana amwe mambi atebetara ya deputy. So the community still believes in you at 55%. That is very dangerous. And unless we say it, things will not go right. Me, my opinion, now I don't know manyete between me and you. Opposition, ona ge erengareti kwa Kalonzo Musyoka kerugo. Eriko nyatu arwate yabanga United Opposition eko ticket. Igobona you will still remain on for 55 you will come to 30%. Was a 15. Because authority bono presidential candidate. Chances are very high. You and I know the truth. You've been in government, you know. I'm now in government, I know. There is only one sponsor ya opposition. One, Uhuru Kenyatta. Who is your party leader? He is the only sponsor. Na yana era ukuru chibe yasaliria ganeti. That is why mukutana magokora didi chibe sia sokire. Chitara soka muri soka. So it becomes very challenging. Ikega munategemea jembe la kupewa ndio mtoke. So omonto yore the sponsor in his rating arengareti Kalonzo arani e show. Why? Ba kobe kire community leader ba kire chisabu cheito ba rodire tu areng etore eto agete chikura 700,000 ba gundure etore bone go kire 55% ba amugire na ba kwargo ba 100% ba don 700,000 votes to agete ndotira ne million. Yani na tu abeire. That is how we are now. So wanawaminto. This is very dangerous for the community. We are going to be in a worse situation if we allow this to continue than eyena nyorete 2022. How? Eye 2022 yo kogamba bono iga okobata gete second term na bakunya gotwebereri njunya rebe na wango koegasi abande bago tengo maito tiga etorali behind to matianyu ababunge sijui nini, no problem. Achiko korera kia babunge mbaba 10, mbaba 15, mbaba 20. Bunge ya nega esenko gambaga etore ababunge 349. Usi no teba na babunge ko mo abonzi pi 17. Iga bunge geronyo ore chikura o akirkendi gionsi ebiri yagete. You only need 130 MPs. 130. Basigisi ebare 50 something. Boka. Igotora agesa tikabire jire chi amugire abagereba achira serikali abantu ba coast ba achira serikali abantu ba Rift ba North Eastern bachira serikali bono abantu no mubunge no amatianya babunge 17 nga yako baya ko negotiate nango na ene kero ku negotiate no muntu ko enda second term ya yo mwerio nkia ku kaniriti. It is going to be very difficult for the community, and I want you to keep this video for the future. It is going to be very difficult for the community unless we change tact. Maete wanasemanga sikio la kufa alisiki dawa. Our chances have diminished the more in the opposition. And you'll remember this video next year, April. And I speak this with tremendous respect. President, tuamwira bono wanchire tatageti otebire tatuga chama ya abugate Jubilee Party. Jubilee Party nekia muikoyo. Aba ikoyo egenta bago promote DCP. Mbali na atara Jubilee. Ikoyo atigaire aka section gaito kagusi. Asayo moko gatari. No engusi yeyu muri ko gatari except yali asimu abegeta ka obisi yali gesonzo. Akamwe gakare para igoro asimu ndata pake no nchigara. But bono rusi ebyo. You will agree with me kerota ereko president. But warore a secretariat. Ere functional. Kiona watenga time bado. Chinza jerire. Na no muntu kuru we musiyo so ile ground ya korega sikuri kweli. No muntu kuru bojube kane ensengima 290 constituencies. It is not an easy thing. To be very careful so that we don't mislead the community. It is going to be very dangerous of us. I pity my community. Na ane tutalibana tubunye kongene bana tubunye kongenteringa nganto targeti. Tata intunege ichorelio. Unless we are in a winning side, ondeta yoko ngentereli. Ondeta yoko ngenter. Na abele serikali ga my friend nkwabiralie bintu kweli. It's not easy. Muiko kago cha igabake keraba kwa kuomana enjere to kuomana oyegwa. Na abele bintu na urwa. Why? Antaba, you know, even the president kumanya okwana chi obisi ga kwa evereli. You know, by the time ogo chigote president nero understand it siasa and wande batoroche bona aba. You know why? Because baka waliputa serikali of course ndo maskani ta yonka mungure kwemincha ngure kotongenderelia ono we remain there tuligatiani serikali yes but we kabona se point yote ati andu wanira abantu bande boka tinta itiko gochandeka ora chandikire community bosa italengere timanga nayo. But my point ne ya bana waminto, for you to be even a president, otu are secretariat, otu are kiama, otu are functional team, e korokanere face ya national. Ono bana waminto otare ko president Fred Ominto maigaga mongino renkari amine tingara bokoba lakini aino maite to konyara bado mongino renkari akagitingara bokoba na aino maite kene asore bono iga turi banga muinoga kerwa kore press murevu muinoga nensari macha muinoga uzeni moli. Yani we are becoming jokers. We are not leading the community in the right direction. Bono nku address as my leader because to anchiranire you are at 55%, so you are the leader. But I'll tell you the truth. Njoma ete no manyete mano meto Fred, I say the truth. Abantu bage chiko, but that is the truth. Akano tera ko president, ligino ne chigari, okerochi yake aikomi obegete sound. These embarrassments moko gaenda se function na akuru abantu moko address na boda abantu 20. Aka makondo mobegete na aliye kanisa, aliya indoor. And you want to be a president. It is not we cannot be embarrassing our community that way. Wono mongino lenkali ya rocho wa campaign di kweli. But you and I know it's not true. Nege ndeke moja watayoma ndichi best to tumia. Onye kwa ko be president, you have to use money. Mobilize. Yendo ge ko kunga bare tu abantu. Abantu ubare tu na Kenya. Ngogo kani mba correct bache kwake kura. They will still be brought. Bache kwake kura. Onye bachi besa. When you go to a meeting, mobilize ichori abante ground ge ichore. You know, Araf become a condamana. Bono, you cannot be a presidential candidate. Egari was a aspirant. Ondo chaga akahon speaker. Garabu. But a community mongino renkaminto akagetenga no president. And you know very well to rebanga. So my point ne, our future. and this I beg with tremendous respect. Because right now you're at 55, Gusi. The other part of the country, I can tell you are low. Extremely. You are not doing anything. Other than telling us everywhere, I'll fix it. Fix. You have to explain as it is right now, every day, every day, 30 days in a month. Kera rituko, genda uri geli no Facebook yae. Rera na bugata banteru. Marogo bana bugata. Na le kera rituko na bugata bantu. Kera rituko. Igota ro bante gachagwa akorigia banta ubo once buiko ya chakoretere. Let's be fair. Aeto korigeli no ne metandao o ngarenge no mugaka machogu na maraga mungakwe bicha mugo otomuriro. Boss wacheni mchezo bwana. I feel bad because there is nothing. It's balloon. It is balloon complete. When last did you meet MCS? Bagusi, Baoma Bay, Bakisumu, Baisiolo. When last? When last did you ever make a call? Oh, Meranaba Bungorosia Basani, Mombasa. Okay, and don't tour Mukutano. Gachagua every day holds such meetings. No, I know position you are serious now. That is why they want you. They don't see you as no a leader. Lakini gusi okoba yegesa. Abante bakagetinga somehow emira kone karo. Because yegesa, that is what they have decided to do every morning. They've even succeeded to make you a community leader. Every morning ninchu. Matanga. A presidential candidate who's going to matanga yaki. You're a presidential candidate, you are up there. You cannot be involved in that is not your work. Even messaging we are losing it. Now that because any person who tells you the truth, I'll still tell you the truth. I'll tell you. The only way you can help us, Fred, you will still be president. You can actually be president, but not in 2027. As long as you're going to go stick in a united opposition, 2027 you are not going to be president. Or even 2032. Or even 2037. Because we are also there. If you want to be president, which I believe you can, you're a bit lazy. You need a team. And that team, you can be guided. No more rasa siasa. Oya se ga simbu yore. Kini siasa, ano mogokore. Siasa itageti bogoko. Either nchiyo was no bogoko. You just tell us. We just know. So that we don't waste time for the community. And the opposition MPs will not tell you that. But we will tell you. I feel bad because I know what I go through in government to fight for Omogusi, and they still don't see. My fear is you lead us to the opposition mono. A second time you're president ya kogenda. Eba Kongo bono kwebere no bo class monitor. Into komo ngenter that time. That is my only fear. Serikali yasoe etami ya kabere. Ituliko ngenter. Pinti mungula teba reject at that point. Yendo ke mora at that time ngoko reject ya kogenda. Eke uonjo ka kebe na kiriki abiriki ya uru maliza uende. Maliza uende tuchandike miaka 5. Because the community has been misled yonsi ya chire. You can be president. The only way you can be president, Fred, is under one route. There is a big gap in Nyanza as a region for leadership. In Nyanza, etole intwe abagere n'abakuria. Ababali barabange n'abagere. Abako bugati n'abagusi. Tomako enda abakuria. Abagere aba 2.5 million. Ebale serikali. Gap ya leadership ya tokeire bogere. Abakuria ebale serikali. Abagusiboka watu leadiri tobe in opposition. I want to advise my brother Fred. Join government. Take over that region. Nimbwata maskani sana gochia se Professor Kindiki. But I have given ange buya. Na ne position ina batoko chira. To negotiate mune region ya Nyanza. Wogere, ukulia. Ikega no na abagere. Ekera baga tebe to deputy president mba ngire koigwana ningo bara negotiate. Bono Fred Erache, it will be very easy. We negotiate. To kolinwa nimbwata maskani sana gochia se Prime Cabinet Secretary Mudavadi. Lakini njena eno manyetenga aina bakora tachikura chinyingi kubuga Mudavadi. It is very easy for us to negotiate kuruari. Also serikali Ruto unakona kwa soka kwa nyori platform yo korosia ba yasikira na agundure either tubuga atiko soro mugoko. Otoke within that structure. By 2032 we start making it very well. Let's be honest. Tige activism. I have seen it, my friend. Aba ikoye bakonya kwa activist ga lakini bakorosi sobo. Muatari re Kenya nku arenge serikali. Nanekera mu arenge serikali mugakori ukagambire bintaga tumbire sobo. Ogosoka kuruga Nairobi. Ore Thika Road highway okogera bakanyerie super highway kira asega Kiambuchi highway mbono mugako yakonya kwegasa rironi mausamit na into center nyore kende guchiari suneka etini boko guchimoino mbona konya kwegasa otherwise esegi mukurwana yaba ikuyo tego tokonya bara mbe agachete mbaro seti sobo. The chance yokobo president gosomo deputy president is only with William. No obo running mate Kalonzo. You and I know Kalonzo nere ko inspire mwabwe kanire nere amete bokamba cheki sande inga yarenge bokamba nare osoka limo matanga ekanisa kweka numbers tiaona tia ko imagine the social media. Stop imagining these things about social media. Social media in this country is only 2.7% yabangina bale social media. Nona abandi grade they are only 2.7% as a population of 55 million. I'm telling you. Bangira balina bagaka bagwa kachitwa kurankali mbayo social media. Mbayo. We cannot I feel bad because I foresee my community ke suffer if we do not manage our politics very well. Bagere muisonde bagundwa na kekero bakone kuibanga. Tata nkwaro chino ene krechi function ndiko koru a weekend bagere ababunga boka bachi etali mubunga koru 10 million. Chiaga achirichi project chichi kanso yonde na 10 million bagachanga 35 million. No yonde na endo cha uzo karora chi airport chiabo. Why they've managed kumanyanga siasa yeto kunya kujiyaka mono ya opposition nga activist tole nga sisi tunafaitia inchi. Tunafaitia inchi gani? This is not new. Whatever is happening in this country is not new. Fred, you did it. Or even worse when you were in government. So there is nothing new. There is nothing unique you guys will do. Mura imagine ko korango manyete bantu mbako bugatu ngo kani. I mean every government has that. Let's be honest. But activism does not pay. Activism doesn't. Ide vyo de soka to soka. Tuoge, to batebi, to bazoki, to bate. Those things I have realized they do not work. So chance one, Yokobo president is to join Ruto. Now, that is on your personal growth. I want to beg of you for the growth of the community. Awana minto. Ntu ayeti moisonde ngentoko ku National Infrastructure Fund. Kagaita ga bunge. We are targeting to raise 7 trillion to do construction yechi para Kenya ngima. Ayondige reti eboli se ino uchi para nchiro. Kara eminche kurigoro bakanzira kini eboli para nchiro se ino. Chiri chingia chigweteka. Now, Fred Mating'i batebiri tigana na Ruto. For you to be part of this 7 trillion, you have to be on the table. Technocrats, dibago ikaransaras motoko. Ngogotoko, you are elected representative. Because there is no technocrat kuchikobali raika, amanyenge para ne kare mukomoni, wase kiabigori, wase kebirgo, wase minyinkwa. Tako ba raika. That is why article 96 ya whatever into gazi yetu ko represent ta ko bairaika. So right now we are into budget infrastructure yabe getu tibasi nyinge sana abana bame into tibase chimbono gachi ko bagwa in terms of ekiagere to ko be kabune pool yabe getu a pool about development ntaracha na hiyo ya 7 trillion. Fred, I beg of you, release your MPs and tell them to go and negotiate with the technocrats, the minister for roads. Egere na baro babe kiruchi para chiechirami so bachi yagachwe. Tiga gusanira mukamo murutra. Ebinte binko be kubire by the time moko igora maiso na manya ora opposition mure. No yimu abasoira opposition there akogenda bone tamia kabire. Abantu bachandeke bubi. Abantu bagocha gochandeka bubi. And there's nothing you will do. No emincha, there's nothing you will do. No gejigu no muramba, it is nothing. Again, take tata mante ba ibangete mono kare. Ono no kibaki orenge akanyora jari akababa katare ko robya rengo mugaka akaba njiragiri yari ko taramne krema. O angete kuruo kirego 207 baka akuimuki gwebuku botuko kano masaya oyo mokeiga. Oye bangire kabisa kera nkumurire yaye bange tarigire TV ntubaka kuchimutu ari arigire kabisa. Muntu kugambira abana jeshi bano iga. Omo ikoyo. Okogenda nka gose next year. Lichi kuria abana jeshi oliyo kumubwati nere kuira. Oliyo kumubwati omusigisi. Mwabo tebanye tebi aba kusiye kene you know the reality about this country. Muntu kugambira abaskari bano iga no mugusi. Meme no mo ikoyo. Oyo kumubwati kuruma gotakiri kumuikoira. Oyo nemato. Siasa no kubango boche, ubange to boche kirase ubange to boche. Yente kibonga dengo maetenche mokongo sa toko genda ense ko sareka. Ense na how far ense ra sareke ko bobona ya sareke 24 June na ende Ruto na karanse tetekiru. So ka iziko ense sareke bune iwate ba ana ubako wate yosoka isiko mba soka. Ba gotigara abande bakwe. You know that is how life is. Why you go now you can go choose cover activist, you become part of the statistics. You are just part of the statistics. Tunataka akietu miaka kebere meti nyebera bantu bebire. Atali yeso kukwira bantu bibi yabo. Genton keyo iraika ndiyo ligo chikosoa. Siasa tali maraika. Reality ne ringa ntobwe. Ya. Ngayoro tutrabwe ensa mo kitrabwe niga. Onya toko bugatia. Sabe share ya ino. Toka motuabu ruanera mugusi. That is how life is. Ono budget yetu etete. Babunge mbale rwikara sana chirichiri bali bechi para. Babunge bane amine bali ba go Fred. Bagode bali arokane nga babere chi mall. Mbata idiko yenda si chi obisi eji nene kiagere binte ibi kubangu chi obisi eji no nyana eno manje na kwa bangete kubanga kwa renge binte from your offices. It is not easy unless we used to come to your office. Inche na renge tanga I used to come to your office every time. Because government cannot be ngabono manyetenga naturally nga para get neta ke. Ekara moiso onde tuare ko para. Chio kwa gacha our regions because in check ranko genda. Njoma I am not a representative yomogusi. I am an MP for South Mogirango. I am not fighting to be anything like I want to be kingpin even to be I don't care even to be those are small things. I'm focusing national. So right now, my mandate is to represent the people of South Mogirango. So I have to be honest. And I look at them now. Boss, you want to take through these offices. Right now, Mogirango, I'm doing 186 kilometers of roads. Tarmac. In the entire constituency, by end of next year, I'll have been left with only 30 kilometers Chitawati Rami. Naende ababunga abago bataje different. No 30 kilometers itingo bekana next week. Because ekeke no ereb mesa. Ayiga simo kumnyoka tindochi. Why can't you just come and sit? You don't need to tell Ruto to come. You don't. You simply need to tone down. Release your MPs. Come and say we just want to work. Kura ziko mbali. Chukua share yako ya 7 trillion. pelekea watu wako, jenga malami, weka maji, fanya infrastructure. I am telling you this because in 3 weeks time tuko Kisii, wale ambao wataketi kwa meza next week tunafungua barabara zingine mpya. So ukimuona tena akija South Mogirango, don't complain. I am not an MP of West Mogirango, North Mogirango, Bonchari. No. I am MP South Mogirango first. All the rest, kila mtu ajipiganie. Njira ante ngainko manyere para yabo basi. Ngainko manyere para ere Bonchari. Tinji manyeti. Para maete ne chiane. Ni mbori kwa senkaranzete. Lisa karanko bara isi para chiane ngeye. Na mwisone na baete li akiagware. No para ito cross the one of the biggest. Ani again kerana etwe egatangaswe kaena nuri rube itokoje kuigora. My friend, I said that here. Nyaimera igora aria sawa ntota nyako rarame. Ocha ego tirimbo ko kia gware. Ego ambokaga abu nyamio mwe amboke gocha nyakorere. Pare ende gwa kari karungu. Ekogenda bakasengenya. Eko magocha ga nyake nyamaseke. Bwana, I felt so good. And that is the joy of being a leader. I beg of us, leaders. Chances of Fred are not there. And by the end of 2, 3, 4 months, muna chipari chichia Ruto chiko ara muna chichia balironi. Enoge murate ya bantu banakuru. By the end of no chikia mbwe moja batanga baikoyo. Ya chake ko bekre flyover ko chakiraga mudaiga ekogenda ko chitige dongori. Wabunga wa baikoyo kwa bakunya kugira nabo ange bonse. Quietly. Oliga cha ochakira gotigara buyeka. Chirali chitimo karodi chinyinga ngasema one time chakira konya kokea. Na kia kora koenda munyomba gutwara mikutano kiagira bana bantu barosire mugano uyu. Let's not mislead the community. We put aside our personal differences. Join government. I am willing to negotiate. You become our leader in the side of government. You will be remembered. Because you are an asset. It will be very easy because you are at 55%. Otasa etibono yoko 55. Ereti yago mune gocha go enda kere 2015. Awaso akore yani gentonke yo gento kenenora egu nobo. Kira ayi wana kenena aribo. What's your man we board? Lakini mwana also eko 55%. And I say this with tremendous respect. You will negotiate for our community for this 1 year. We will get a share of 7 trillion properly. Because you will come, Mnomogusi, Injinko Gayananga, no Mogirango. I am not a leader of the community. I don't need such. Nyasaya Kara Nanjere in future Mbolikende. That time I will be something. I want correct. Bono 7 trillion. Ni ngegu orochi na atike only 30 kilometers impegeta se program. Ni ngegu at least 300 kilometers yagusi. Nga inkorus tinji manyeti. Nkora angelio mobunge o seibo machoke borabu. Aku anga gocha. Awate abanje no Dr.Fred. Yana gochi ya rinko barustro. What do I do? My powers are limited. There's nothing I can do. The only thing I do as a leader, bunge, I have defended them on the Yokorusuku committee. On the Yokorusuku committee, Korunso, I'm the chief whip. Thing one. I'm never going to see Baka Banda, but I want to have a Kaurachi Parachi, which is a lie. Nanina Gassaruchi Para, Yakundi Jaffet. Zaidana Gassaruchi Para. It is our right. Right, then talk and use it's our taxes. Also to me, I'll kill Mobuko to Akanagan Angoro. You know, sometimes you hear stories. It is my tax. Also, to me, yes, it is your tax, but it's controlled from one central, and the people who hold that knife decide where it goes. It is your tax, it is your right, but your right is not absolute. Somebody must negotiate for it. That is why we have elected leaders. If we are not part of the team liliomo yoko nacha ngo ko inyora ngo nacha go resources eji na chika yata Kenya yega nanda bana ko chikwa kura mono nga it is our tax yet kere le ron 30th June you could get a o fire zero return abana mwana ko fire you nga my tax no ma na go le tumoga ati chika nacho ngo kwata yoli ko go tumoga ati na atieta pengine is a tax evader. You know, let's stop narrowing our reasoning kuna correct na activists. Tell people reality. Aba ikoyo aba aga ati soba. Esege mokuru wanene aba ikoyo abana wame. Esege mokuru wanene aba ikoyo. Obogambi no buyekero obugata. Nanda bona babwati sinamba chinyinge. Alama babwati chibasi nyinge. Baro si soba kweri. Esege mokuru wanene aba ikoyo. Tiago yaso esege aba ikoyo. Tigapi yaso yeso. Tigapi. So amoro sikende. So amwaga chenka tafadhali abana waminto usingo tigarire maega abagere batulire tata kiregento because they are able to negotiate. Why are they able to negotiate? Kiagera bone bakogenda baramo baichiraria mo kambi oranga ke antanaki bono gusiga nkogenda na abo kuri Jafeti Zairi abunga bakega bono to ikare the only thing okorenga libono kwacha korenga likegera tin korenga ligora kisi town korenga libuogo one ngiketa hiyo ndio korenga litipara one you know. So today I have decided to pour out my heart. It's unfortunate, but it's a reality, and you will remember me. Even in this administration, most of the things I've told you, mwanginyo ile baadaye. But I don't want to talk about them because some of them are unnecessary. Mwaga tebile osoranje tijisegi, mwaga tebile sijui nini. Ono mwanginyo ile baadaye. Ono njeti squeeze niko kwa magana mangi. I used to tell you things. I used to mention things. Ono squeeze njeti niko kwa magana mangi. Mwaga tebile binte binge, mwaga tebile tata kitiko kwa gento tata korosi. Nowadays I pulled back. I consider and focus on my people. Finally. Yente ketaya wata ngore no mwabo. Obugata okoboko chaka. Utali no mwabo. Obugata muramu. Chika asi chinge kutangaza serikali. Chinge sana. Omogusi tata yutoka part of it because asane litumuka mumura. Abana bako likwa. Mugusi tata yutoka kegera asane litumuka mumura. Okoba bantu siase Kenya sometimes it's unfortunate that is how it is na Kenya yoka na America na bere iko usiko lile America tabuga timondo mumwamu asa serikali. I think no yamabuga. I mean that is how life is. Tiago we koranga democracy is nini reality tweka reality ya mwanya bantu. The reason why no na yoko support the radio kwa numugusi. So tikibi ntinyo kwa ngwa ite serikali teke ko baiko. Okay. To support the no musigisi. Nkiko support the radio. You know, so we have identity. Kero manye to muntu ngo konye kuri. Abari mukuri kubare. Konyara bana baito bande muri ku apply. Oseri yota teko sumera onde bwense no boskari go sekende. Ami ndondo chande gete. Anyway. Me chande ite yende ni mwaso lete. Tide ko na mangana mange nda kwana yande yoborro. I say, Kere, my friend, oko negotiate again to kede kyomo gusi wata ibu Osoro. Ruanira mwa tata na etuta to konya. Ntume community ya asire yani esireri. Babugate hope yetayo. Yani ukaransta abuga biso bugate hope ngenza limaje na murebu mbache bakubara yatamati yangabe president. You know we are jokers. Na kogena matanga gusina nyokote yotali matiangi nka sijui nini. Is that how you want to bake kerora ira arenge kero kumwagete chikura 700,000 chioka kisi na Nyamira chions Ruto ayirete chikura na 7.2 million 7.4 was 7.2 something like that. Yeah, 7.2. Raila kanyora 6.9 yechi no Rusi ejo da 700 dinga wana muhiminchire. Wacha mchezo bana. Wacha ni mchezo. Beg where we have hope. We cannot get hope under Kalonzo Musyoka. Never. Kalonzo. Mujiko bachirani mwititia Nano burani ngimutiumba chape minche. Siasa yake kwa chakiri goro ko yana singaka. Wana bako chibako togi. Bako chibatogi umuntu barosa nere. Bakagotogi Fred, bakarosa naye, bakacha simura rakibaso, bakarosa nere squeeze bako dimenkiare. Batigire bakacha maraga, bakacha no mwakondega kwenye ukarasa chipara. Yani ono hali gakonya kubuga tu mwaka bwa masikani. Muntu chiete skuru. Kuno gonchoncho kana ikaranza chipara. We are embarrassing the community bana. We have to tell you the truth. Nga activism mbono mogo chaka. Kuno goncho kana naga mu ikaranza chipara, tiato imokia mato, tiato koregento gete. Riba togio iba akolire, moizo nendo na reba acha sisi ndio zifuna. Muliro chake re kwaera. Kero wate riba mimi ndio zifuna, so what? After that, muliro kwaera, to chaka siasa igora, chaka ansa. Tira. Quietly. So for those and many remarks, I invite my community to think there is no hope in the opposition, whether with Fred, because already Muamo branded my community leader. In fact, president. You've been branded a community leader. Your party is not national. You have 15 MPs. DCP yeche na wabunge kwa 50. They'll impeach you. They'll demand you cannot lead. That is not how life is. Start gradually. No see network Kenya ngima nini. Then we grow. My community, I beg of you. Ntra nyorwa. Fred, kuja tuende kwa Ruto. You will be something. And I'm not telling you out of fear for you or fear, like personal fear about you. No, bro, you know me. I'm telling you that because of my community, our community. You are now the leader. And we believe that. But don't mislead the community. Don't. Una ajonte bindu ganko bugati. Igonte kanene pare. Yengo korosi. Baka se inari. No mere pare ya sengenya inche nkorosi. Sengenya se inase. Uibo irae. Fred. I'm the one building it right now. I'm making a tarmac. Right now. You are in government. You did not. When you tell me to quit government, you are telling me. Achana na hii barabara ya kujenga kwangu. Etage kona. Mimi ninajenga. Sai. Kiagwa rense ino. Fred. As minister for 10 years, you came to South Mogirango 3 years. 3 years. 1, 2, 3. And the only thing I remember, no promise ya matabori nyangweta, you did not bring. Matabori nyakembene, you did not bring. Anyway, nyakembene ina achaka kuwa gacha koroba. Don't mind. Nyangweta ina kuwa gacha koroba. SDA. Don't mind. I am not complaining. I simply want you to join us so that you help the community. Thank you very much.
Mheshimiwa, maybe unakuwa kwa nina mangana amarongea. Program kimo bwate kuna osekwa focus uno mogusi. Mochiko ikira na mna barai.
Siasa address each other on media. Politicians don't address each other in meetings. Once you see my message and you accept, you reach out. If you don't, no problem. We keep the record and the public will see. That is a reality. Number 2, unomogusi, bro, I speak as MP South Mogirango. I am not the leader of Omogusi. Never will I want to be. If I ever want to be a leader beyond South Mogirango, I want to be president of Kenya. If that chance ever arises. And that can only happen not only because in Omogusi, because I'll be accepted, Oikoyo, be accepted, Osigisi. If that doesn't happen, it comes with a lot of baggage and you'll suffer. Especially my people will suffer, South Mogirango. So, what we've told our people is that our leaders, Zairi Janda, sukuma chiparachi yabu tata. Jafri Nyakundi, sukuma chiparachi yabu. Alpha Miruka, sukuma chiparachi yabu. Donya Toto, sukuma chipara, because nere she's really focusing on Bonchari because she wants to be a MP Bonchari. She's already pushed for 2 roads here Bonchari. Through these sittings. Toji kuigora in 3 weeks. Kere president yegocha. Donya toto. If nobody wants to be on the table, there's nothing we can do about it.
Do you feel like the change wa Kenya na message ya ucha sevichana
gentonke gekoro ku gensi ebinte ibi yarete abantu at the end of the day abantu bakorenga no mo gensi ondigereti arengereti go afraid so tribal o mugusi na karo mugusi mo gensi ka kondegeri kare ka korenga bukari keruya orengereri gentonke gekoro ku gensi ngabondo tuachira amo na gensi nga dridales gentonke tubita kwa maguru bi yarete kare. And I told the people there's nothing called like that. That was a narrative ya by Koyo na eneja herete. It had nothing. It had something to do with oborubuga power di ba rueto, which is okay. Kero monta onjiro bora tadi sia utaka kubotika. So my message to the vijana, jitume. Hii perception yenye tunakuwa nayo hapa kila saa ati huyu kiongozi akitoka unajua tumeteseka sana, Ruto akitoka tutapona. Atatoka my friend, if you don't wake up early kwenda kujitafutia. Uwe mwenye ataingia bado utakuwa tu bado maskini. Stop imagining that when you see people driving around, at unaona mtu akiendesha gari kubwa, you think they are driving, you are poor because they are driving. No. Jitume, hustle, use your network. Kama ni Osoro unajua, tumia yeye. Hii maneno yanasema Kenya, kwani lazima ujue mtu. World over, your network is your net worth. I mean, that is a basic analogy ya kuelewa. Network is your net worth. Who is your network? Who do you know? Hata biashara ni hivyo. Kiweka duka nini, lazima ujuane na watu. Your network is your net worth. You become something through your network. So create a network, grow, jitume. Wacha tu kuishi kazi yako tu unaishi. Hii social media boiko yoga tata hapa njume ndo na abeli na banta banabu abakoyo wane. Na amenyere na bunko bantango kuba 10. Montabu ateka simi go kaigo chake ke sini nyo ndo eduka yo montoga. Watayanga nta kobe agent yawe yoko ni chianga. Obeka bundles, oyigoraka page. Umata tiangwa tianga akebicha yeduke amini yechi angeye mbeke Facebook yane. Obeka. Wosocha ka kobeka live ye mbegete. Okwana kwana inguone mzuri. Tali yaya. Abantu bamo tomere ni box. Ni ngapi? Oliyo ko ni 1200. Oyo matebi 2200. Oyo bagede baka 2000. Omotebi you will pay on delivery. Wote yoyoge duka tuende na wewe, mimi ndio najua mahali yako, tuende. Ulioka 2000 umurusiri 800 obeka. Panta badata ati ningete kwiri. No nyenso baba troseti kare oko ende michiye bwata baka chitapu mwabo. Lakini ko ga chere kweka tukurwa nesigia bayikoyo. Chitapu yani intuba ado bangena mdochi bagochi. Barabu maito bone bakora last mile connectivity ya mache. Intio tokora last mile connectivity estima last mile connectivity so beba code 1989. Kero monta bwa estima. Intio tokora last mile connectivity ya mache. Yamini ya estima. Baka bono ntora ikera. Buone ende at 60%. Can you imagine that? 60 years post independence. 3 years over bega aki. Kwa ma wanta injo inyese egia bayikoyo. I cannot. Chitap. Ikine yego nga ejimo. Enyombe ye chibao. Lakini isuko gali ne etap. Etap ya mache pape keire kabiso ko rujuasko ende ko asko ntumo isoro twago toigorete go se guswasko tokaye change go chinyamire yaye na kisi yaye. Tera ikera anywhere. Kana tu alikobeka moisonde budget estimaga. Itoko bagana. In terms of ababunga bali barengo. Bali bago ikaransa bataite ko toka share. Chibes estima chigachaga ase bitabo. Abunga bakurwanira sana. Ngama kubuli mubungo yo a leader of majority nga mugambi. Nakibona ayo tiri kumanira chibes estima njoma ite na ngate bambekere 200 million. Bagantebi ngaba nara mate you have to consider leadership. Mimi niweke 200 million, wekea Ishungwa 300 million. Stima tuweke kwetu na tuika na steka. Budget ya karoso bunge 300 million. Ichungwa kantai mistake. Ya stima mistake. Iyo kawana na agangatorero muntu mungao. Tokabagana yirende 150 ikaba 350 million. Echitwaite tumuisonde. Ono njenkanyora 350 million. South Mogirango yoka. Echitoko chiko chaka roll out in another 2 months. Bono litua soka ngamuburi bro mbona utaki stima ande sasa nitawekea nani ngama tena maji pesa ya maji mimi sitaki kaburi bona inki utagite anyora so ya rose tutalia ero koraumu na ubaga mbete 1963 bakara rosi ande dia soka we onda ndaka bakara rosi bona ba rosiri gento nkeyo get alafu kama wandenga bakonye nje seito abantu bakwenda roche bakabone gatate bitacho nane byo byakamukire nane bakonyora kwanza onde bwenzi oranyora bugambi through them kobo puppet yabo eno gara akora ebinto koba kujia none chipari ruta ikora mu isonde chia central mau roads nini mbona tata tunye kwa bali ko serinya ora mina akakanya korere na abeka chira akarami yani kunye kwa bali ko serinya ote imbekire ga kigo siku hizi manya baka chipesa chiabo tali chia korosi rambi bona ya ikira bona chipesa tako toko beka chi infrastructure eti okorosi chikaburo na walking path yani chirami njiro bona bakurikia se bakobeka chikaburo batarire boss intuntura igara kaburo ntageta karami kara eta. Don't mislead the community. Thank you very much.